Bravo!
Let's go ahead and get our audio set. Check in. Hello, everyone. We have Jules today, but she doesn't want to stay with us. So she may just walk around every once in a while. No biting.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Hello, everyone. We have Jules today. Okay, there we go. All right. Hope you guys are having a good day today. Hi from Paul, Veronica, and Jasmine.
Hi.
Guys.
Hi, Jasmine. How are
Joining
you?
us. All right. So we're going to be talking today about
Reopening our live services.
Yay!
It is happening.
Yay! Say yay, Jules! Yay!
She doesn't have that in her vocabulary.
No. Good girl. Good
So
girl.
we're excited to say that, as you already know, because the president has so wisely deemed churches as essential to the functioning of our country, and just pray for our president. You may agree with him or disagree with him. You may like him or dislike him, but one thing we'll have to admit is he really stepped up to the plate for our churches and for the people of God, and just declared us essential, basically moving us up in the timeline of when we could reopen, along with so many of the other businesses that they have just decided are essential, which I'm not going to deny. I mean, it's important to be able to go to the market. It's important to be able to go to, Home Depot if something breaks, but it's also important to go and seek the Lord, and to be able to have the things that normally happen in the church, the feeding of the soul, the worship of God, the fellowship of the saints, to have funerals and weddings and counseling and encouragement, and the life that we know and love, because it's just so valuable to us. And so that has been deemed essential. In opening this whole thing, it was exciting because when the statement was made last Friday that the president has declared the church essential, well, we already thought, okay, we already know then, if that's happened, that the churches are going to open up very soon. In fact, many opened up that very Sunday. We didn't, because we were waiting, and we knew that the same day Governor Newsom came out and said, I'm going to have the guidelines out on Monday, even though it was Memorial Day, which I was surprised that he actually got them out on Memorial Day, which was Monday. But we knew that he was going to come out with his guidelines, and so we could pretty safely say we're going to open as early as May 31st, which we will do, because we knew that we've all been in this long enough to know that the guidelines, we all know what they are, and we know what they were going to be, and so there was only very minor questions, so we just had you getting ready. And so now that we've received the guidelines, we as the staff have read the guidelines, we know exactly what they're asking us to do, and frankly, as I shared last night, they're less strict than I thought they would be. So we can safely open up come May 31st, which is this Sunday, and we're gonna just take, as I called it, baby steps. We're gonna just step one little step in front. We're not running full speed. That'll be a while from now. But the Lord has opened the door for us, and we're so thankful that we can open the doors, that people that desire to can come in, can worship, they can seek the Lord, and just doing it the way the Lord wants us to do it. And so we've had some questions about whether or not you can actually do that. Is that legal? And it's like, well, we've never not been legal. We didn't open up until after the president had said we can come in, and after the governor has put together his guidelines, which, hey, there they are. We're ready to do this thing. And so we're excited about it. We don't think it's going to be dangerous for anybody. We're going to take a lot of precautions and do the things we can do so that the people that desire to can come and seek the Lord. So we're excited.
Yeah, it is really exciting. So, okay, cool. So we're just going to talk about a few things regarding the reopening, and then answer a few questions. So again, if you guys have questions now, you guys could go ahead and start typing them in, or if you guys want to wait till we kind of finish up, you can start doing that as well.
I would type them in right away.
Yeah, because sometimes there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, the lag.
And so, and then you may forget your question. That happens to me all the time. And so
she takes after her dad.
Yeah.
Very forgetful.
So we're going to just start talking about the question is, what if I'm not comfortable with coming to church?
And we totally understand that. We know that there are, there are groups of people that the coronavirus is not a good thing to get. People with already an underlying condition, people that are elderly. The median age of people that pass away from this is like the early 70s. So it's obviously affecting the older people much more than it is the younger people. I'm not saying no young people get affected, but the overwhelming majority of people are elderly that are being hit the hardest with this. So if you fall into that category, we love you. We respect your decision. We want to encourage you. And so we're going to continue to live stream all our services. We'll do our best to bring you in to the service. And don't think that you're left out or you're second class because you're not at part of the live service. We're all in this together as a family. And so we are going to do what we can to continue to bring worship and bring the word to you so that you can be ministered to. And yes, go ahead and be safe. Be in that place where you're good. But for those that feel like I'm healthy, I'm not concerned about it, I feel okay with going out among people, then the Lord is opening the door for that as well, and we're excited about that.
Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk a little about is our children and groups are doing, because we're not having those services live in person.
Correct. Yeah, it's going to be a little while before we really want to do the children's ministry and the youth ministry right. We don't want to just throw something together. It's not good for the kids. It's not good for the teachers. And so we want to be very prayerful. We want to gather a little more information. We want to make more preparations so that when we do open it up so the kids can come back in, because we know that some of you moms have been kind of cooped up with those kids for a long time, and you're really looking forward to having that moment where you can just worship and focus on the Lord without mom. And so we understand that completely, but we don't want to rush into it. So we're still going to continue to provide our children's ministry YouTube feeds so they can come and continue to get ministered to by the teachers. And unfortunately, we're going to do that for a little while, probably through June at least. And so in that'll give us time to prepare and really do the best we can for the kids. Now, we are allowing children into the service if they're 10 or older, and basically the guideline is this: a child has to be able to sit with Pastor Ray for an hour. And so if you know your child and you just know this kid is not going to be able to sit still for the entire service, which will be about an hour, then please just take advantage of our YouTube stuff, because we don't want to put the pressure on you to oh man, my kid's not settling down, and so now the people that have come are distracted from the word and from the Lord, and we want to avoid that if we can. And so it's not that we don't love your children, it's not that we don't care about you, it's just that we want to be wise, we want to be careful, we want to be prudent in all that we do, and so we want to make sure the environment's the best. So yeah, for now, the children's ministry is going to be put on hold live, but not put on hold in all that we do, because we love our kids. We want them to be blessed.
Yeah, and so for that, the children's ministry is actually switching to the children's ministry. We created a YouTube page that was previously used for like the worship team whenever they put out like videos for the choirs, but we're going to be using that as our platform for the children's services from now on, and that will be at 11 a.m. instead of 11:30. So it'll be happening at the same time as our second service. So just so your parents are aware of that. Also for the youth kids, youth could come and they can sit into the main service if they wanted to. We don't think that they'll have an issue with that. But for those youth who would like to be in the youth service, we do have a Zoom meeting for them. And so the high schoolers are going to be meeting at 9, and then the junior hires are going to be meeting at 11. And so if you have a kid within those age ranges and they would like to be in those Zoom meetings, you can follow the youth Instagram. It's CCSFS Uprising, and they post the codes on there, so you can have your kids go on and get those codes. And then Rick is always regulating it, and he's like watching all the screens, so like
he's watching very diligently.
Rick is always watching.
He's always watching. He's got his eye on you, like a contact lens. I got my eye on you. And that information is available on the website, is it not?
That information is available on the website as well. And if you go onto the website, you should be able to. There's direct links to go to those things. So if you go to the in-person services, at the very bottom it's there, and then even on the schedule, it's repeated multiple times. But anytime I mention the Instagram or the location, I usually tag where it's located as well. So that way you can just click on it and it will take you there.
And the amazing thing is, the kids completely get that. Even if you didn't understand the language that this 20-something-year-old just said, don't worry. Your children understand it. They know exactly what she's talking about.
So, and then I know we talked even before. This is kind of going back to the children's ministry. For those parents who have younger kids and you really want to be at church, we were saying that a recommendation could be like one parent can go to first service while one parent watches the kids, and then you could do like the switch off, and then the second parent could go.
We call that tag team.
Tag team.
Tag team parenting.
You and me in the ring. Tag team.
And yes, unfortunately, that's not the ideal situation, but we're going to try and put enough space between the two services where you can come to service, be done, run home, and still, your spouse will be able to come back and make it. But just make sure you register for the service, because that's very important that you do that.
Cool. And so the next thing we have is talking about our registration or tickets for the event. So do you want to talk a little about that?
Yeah, the tickets are a great bargain. They're only $50 a ticket, $50 a seat. Just kidding, just kidding, just
You're going to get us in trouble.
You're like, they are, of course, free. Just like salvation. It's a gift. It's your church. But we are doing that because we do need to regulate the number of people in the building. And so that's our way of doing it, so people don't come to the door and then learn at the door, oh, sorry, you know what? Sanctuary is full. You're going to have to come back later. We don't want to do that to people, because that's just unnerving. That's not. So we're trying to do this. The registration process is actually really, really easy. I've registered all my girls, all my kids, my wife, Abigail, Colleen, not you. You got to get your own. You're grown up. But it's super easy to do. Right off the website, you just click the link for register, and it takes you to the Eventbrite website, where you just basically type in your name and your email address, and then it says you're in. And so the ticket is there, and you can put it on your phone. You can print the ticket, and we'll have a roster of people that are on that list as well. And that's your way into the sanctuary. And so as of a little while ago, right before this YouTube thing happened, we had 8 openings in the first service at 9 o'clock, and we had 40 openings in the second service at 11. And so I'm kind of surprised the first service filled up so quickly, but it's got a few spots left, and the second service is there, and then the evening service, of course, will be open. There's probably not as many for sure there. You can also get your reservation for Wednesday night. And so it's important that you do that and you work with us. We hate to put more burden on you, but it really does help us to comply with the guidelines that we've been given. And so if we all work together on this, it's all good. And so that's the process. But it's very important. You're right off the website, super easy to do, and you will have to do that recurring. You can't just get one for the rest of the year, like a fishing license that you can just fish all year long once you buy the license one time. No, you have to, every service that you want to come to, you have to register for that. And please, because we know they're filling up quickly, if you realize, you know what, I'm not feeling well, and please, if you're not feeling well, please stay home. But let us know so that we can delete that spot and give it to someone else so that they can come in and enjoy the service. So it's not one of those things where I'll just go if I feel like it. It doesn't cost me anything. Just realize you're taking up a seat, and if you take that seat and don't show up, that means one other person couldn't come to church and come sit in the service.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Okay. So another question I got was regarding tickets on your phone, or do you have to print out their tickets?
Well, if you have them on your phone, that should be good enough. You can show us on the phone. If you can print them, that would be nice. But some people don't even have printers that work, and we understand that. And so if you can get it on your phone, that's great. And maybe you don't even have a computer, which if you're watching me, I don't know how you're doing that, but you can just pass it along to those people that maybe that you run into. They'd say, well, I would go, but I don't have a computer to even register. You can call us at the church office and we will register you, because we understand there are a few people that do not have computer access, internet access, and we don't want to keep you from coming to service if you're in that situation. So just give us a call at the building, 562-906-0697. That's the church phone number. And our receptionist, whoever's answering the phone, will be happy to register you for whatever service you want to go to, and we will fellowship together.
All right. Let's see. The next question is, will I be required to wear a mask and to practice to be socially distant? And I know I saw actually a comment in here as well asking, will masks be required in the sanctuary?
Well, I think we all know the answer to that, don't we? As much as I personally do not like wearing a mask, and my poor wife has to hear me groan every time I walk into the market. Every time I go into AutoZone to buy a part for the car, you have to wear a mask everywhere. And that is just part of the guidelines that the governor put out. That's part of the guidelines that pretty much is covering all of LA County. And so yeah, that will be something that we have to do. I personally, when I'm teaching, will not be wearing a mask because it's really muffled. It's really hard to hear and speak. But when it's done and I'm out in the foyer and just hanging around, yes, I will don the mask because I want to be a good sport. And I just want to go with, we're all in this together. And so Jesus never promised you be comfortable, but we can go through this together. And so yeah, social distancing, yes. In fact, you're going to see when you get into the sanctuary that what we have is we've arranged the seating so that they're in groups. It's not rows like you're used to seeing. They're in groups of 1, 2, 3, or 4 seats. And so one of the things we understand is, like, if Alyssa and I went to church together, we went to service together, because we all live under the same roof. She lives here, and she eats here, and this is her home. That we can obviously sit next to each other like we're doing now. There's no social distancing here because we're family. And so we would take up one of the 2-person seating areas. Please, if you're coming by yourself, don't take a 3-person seat area, because that means that when somebody comes with 3 people, you've got a single person sitting there. Mm-hmm. Just take the seat that you can fill or your group can fill, and no more. We can rearrange the seats to do that, but I know it's comfortable to have a chair to put your Bible in and put your stuff on, or if you're a lady, to put your purse. But you'll have lots of room on the floor right now. And so you can put it right there under your seat. Nobody will bother it. It'll be fine. And we're all going to work together on that so that we can get everybody in. We can all seek the Lord together. Yeah. So yeah, social distancing will occur. We're not going to be Gestapo about it. We're not going to be hardcore. We're not going to be like mean security guards at the market. But we are going to just trust that, we're all adults. We're all can self-regulate these things. I've always contended that, we're adults. We don't need to be treated like 5-year-olds, So we're going to trust you to do the things that are right, to not, go and hug everybody that you see, not going up and high-five and handshaking everybody you see. Just respect the fact that maybe even if you feel comfortable doing it, maybe somebody else doesn't. And to put yourself in that awkward position of holding out your hand to shake, and they're like, oh, we don't do that. I'm not comfortable. So in love, because of the current situation, we just say, you know what, we're gonna exercise self-control, and we're not gonna do that.
Yeah. I think another thing to note is that with the chairs in the sanctuary is just to be flexible, because there's gonna be like some rearranging of the chairs as you come in.
For sure.
So we have everything set in singles and doubles and
Triples,
and
quadruples.
quadruples. But as people come in, we realize that, there may be more couples than we anticipated, or more, there's more than four in a family.
Right.
Maybe there's 5 or 6.
Right.
And so we're just asking for you to be patient with us, especially because, again, this is our first time, doing this.
Grace.
And so
lots of grace for Calvary Chapel, please.
There may be some musical chairs happening, so just realize as you come in that, that will most likely happen.
Yes.
And so, just so you guys are aware, you're like, I reserved my spot, and you were supposed to have my seat with my name on it on that chair. That's not the way it works. It's just, as people come in, we're seeing how many they have, and then they're seating them accordingly.
Yeah, and so we tried to rethink it or think it out so that, it's all set up, but it's all subject to change.
Yeah.
And so we may have to move some chairs in the middle of the service. We may have to, bring a chair, move one over here. And so, it's just the way it's going to be. And I think it's going to be fun because it's just a different look at service. And as we start taking these baby steps towards at least what we would consider to be, okay, this is the service that we're used to. We've got the family gathered together. We're all worshiping together. I believe the Lord will get us to where He wants us to be. But as we make it there, we're going to just be flexible with one another. It's going to be good.
Cool. And then I know you talked about that. What about a small kid? You went back to the regular talking. If you think your kid can sit down for an entire service, then go ahead and bring them. But if they're small, you're just going to ask at this time, and it won't stay this way forever.
Yeah, this is just a season, short season.
There was that question.
And I think it's important to understand that even as things are as fast as they changed, because a week ago today, we didn't have any idea we'd be opening up on Sunday. We didn't even know. And so as fast as things change, things are going to continue to change quickly. And so even if things aren't the way you like them right now, just trust that, we are in prayer about these things. We're seeking the Lord about these things. We are keeping our eye on, what all these governmental bodies are saying that we can and should do or whatever. And so things definitely will be changing. And so as they do, we're going to make our adjustments. And I believe that, we're moving towards that place of saying, hey, this is exactly what we believe it should be. And so even if it's not there now, think about it. For the last 2 months, we've had...
Does my whole group have to check in together?
That would be ideal, because when you come in and you've got your ticket for the certain number of people, that would help us a lot. We're not going to give away your spot, so don't worry about if you have to wait for somebody, they're had to go get something from the car, they forgot their Bible or whatever. You can wait. We'll get you in there. We're only giving out the same number of tickets as we have seats, so we're not gonna cut you out of the loop and vote you off the island. They'll be there, but ideally you do come in together because we want to seat you together. We want to seat you together as a group, and that'll make things a lot easier for our ushers, who are again another group of people that are making huge adjustments. And so please be gracious and kind to them. They want to serve the Lord and they want to help you, and we're all figuring this out together. So as the ushers are working so hard to get this done, be loving to them, be gentle with them and gracious to them, because they're trying and they want to see you blessed. And so it works so much better if we're all just flexible with one another.
So this is the next question. Do we have a regulation like when will doors open, or is there a certain place that they need to go, like a certain door that they need to go through?
No, there's really 2 sets of double doors that you can enter through. The ones facing Florence and the ones facing Norwalk. And we're not going to put lines on the thing that you have to follow or paths. Again, you're adults. You're coming to church, and so you can come in either door. And then when you get to the sanctuary doors, they're going to check your ticket so that you can get in, and then we're going to get you seated. And so no, just come into the building, and then when we're done, go out the same doors you came in. And, I know that there's going to be this great temptation. Let's just sit and fellowship all day long. We don't want to discourage fellowship, but you have to understand there is another service coming in. And so, just use wisdom. Just say, hey, you know what? It's getting closer to the time that the second service is starting. And so, let's if you really want to fellowship with somebody, drive down to the local restaurant, wherever you like to eat, Del Taco or Starbucks, and get your coffee or your taco and eat in the parking lot. I think we still can't dine in, so that's about the best we can do. Find some shade and chill out with your friends if you want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it for the questions that I had. I see some questions in the comments, so I'm just going to go through some of those.
Okay.
Amy asked, if you're serving in worship team, do you need a ticket?
Amy, that's a great question. Because you're there in multiple services, I would say we'll probably ask the worship team to sit in like the green room or something and not sit in the sanctuary, at least for both services. If you want to sit in on one service, I would hate to deprive the worship team of the experience of sitting in. So yes, if you're going to sit in on one of the services, get a ticket. But the worship team is going to be serving multiple services, so you don't have to get a ticket for every service, because I don't think you're going to sit in service every time.
Yeah, cool. So another question was asked, will Overflow or Fellowship Hall be open showing service?
We're working on that right now, so I can't really give you a definitive on that, because we haven't even used the technology for streaming the service to that room in a long time. And if you notice how things work when you don't use something for a while, they tend to not work for some reason or another. So I can't even guarantee at this point that streaming into that room is available. And so right now I'm going to say I don't know.
So just make sure you get a ticket for the main services.
Yeah, because
we really want to encourage people.
They're clicking up each moment that goes by. They're probably all signing off.
Right.
Hate to do that to you guys. I want to create panic buying. It's like buying toilet paper or eggs. A couple months. I can't get enough.
Do you want this ticket? Or do
you
want this ticket?
Yeah. If there's somebody out there selling them in the parking lot, you know what? Let us know, because that's just not right.
It's not right. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Pastor John, stop that.
I got some tickets.
I can hook you up.
So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments. We'll go ahead and leave a couple moments for any other questions you guys may have. Is there anything that you think that we missed?
I don't know, probably, because things are changing so fast. We're learning new lessons every moment. This is a groundbreaking service for us. We've never had anything like this before, so we're learning and figuring things out, and so we'll make adjustments as we go. But the one thing I do want to say is that we really love you and miss you, and we're looking forward to seeing some of you again. Not everybody, obviously, but for those that are coming out, we'll be glad to see you. For those that can't come out, our hearts are still with you, and we love you, and it won't be that long. The Lord will show you when, and He'll show us when. The time is that we're all together again under the same roof. But until then, we'll continue to do what we've kind of grown accustomed to over the last couple months, and that is our online services will still be there, and our online worship will be there, and the different events. One thing I will say, though, is that a lot of our smaller midweek studies are starting to meet in person. So like the men's study is going to be meeting. Keep your eye open for the Foundations of Faith and the Stand. All these groups that meet through the week that easily fall within the CDC guidelines. They're going to start rolling out, so keep your eyes on the website and announcements and word of mouth and social media, all these different ways we've been communicating, because a lot of the normal church life that we're used to, and that is, the fellowships with one another, the times of encouragement, those are ready to go. And so as you hear about those things happening, come on down, let's get into it together.
Yeah, something I remembered also, just a note for the services, I know on the tickets we have the 2 morning services and the evening service. The morning services are different than the evening service.
Yes.
So the evening service isn't going to be the same study as the 2 morning ones.
For now, yeah.
For
now. At some point, if we have to make adjustments, we're going to just kind of look at what happens. And if the services fill up and there's still people wanting to come, then we'll figure out a way, whether it's add a service or do the same service on Sunday night, so that if you couldn't make it Sunday morning, then you can come Sunday evening and you'll get the same Bible study that you would have heard. We're really open at this point to whatever the Lord has and how we can serve you best. And so, again, this is the first week. So I would expect changes between this week and next, because we're going to figure out what's being effective and fruitful and what is not. And from there, we'll just make the decisions we have to make.
Yeah. Christina asked, do we need tickets for prayer tonight? And I think the answer is no.
No, we do not. The prayer meeting tonight, you're welcome to come. I would be wonderful if we had 100 people at a prayer meeting, but I'm not expecting that. Oh, me of little faith. But if that happens, then we'll make adjustments down the road. But right now, for all the smaller, I don't want to say smaller, they're not important, but the midweek meetings, except for Wednesday, you don't need to register. There's no way you can register. We're not setting anything up for Eventbrite. So the other studies, just show up and come and be ready, and come tonight ready to just really just be in the presence of the Lord together as a family. And as I mentioned last night, it was March 19th, I believe, either March 12th or 19th of, earlier this year, weeks ago, the last meeting we had was a prayer meeting. I still remember so specifically. We gathered together, and the decree had come down, stay home. You're going to be in your house. And I thought, this is it. This is the last time we're going to meet together for a while. Yeah. And so I'm overjoyed that our first meeting back is a prayer meeting. Yeah. Kind of like we just picked up where we left off. And we're gonna seek the Lord together in prayer. We're gonna intercede for our body and pray about the upcoming changes and the things that need to happen, and pray for our state and our country and the nation or our world, and continue to be light and salt. So we're gonna pray tonight. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Chrissy asked another question. I'll answer this one. Will Spanish service also have in-person services? And the answer to that is yes. So Spanish service is still going to be at 4 p.m. and it's going to be both in person and online, but you don't need to reserve your spots for that. And so the next question is from Eric. He said, what's the maximum capacity for each service? So
100 people. That's 100 what the
people.
Governor has said. It's 100 people or 25% capacity of your facility. Mm-hmm. So that would put us in the 100 person. So we've got 100 people, 100 chairs set up. Mm-hmm. And that's what we've been given. That's what we're going to work with. And I expect that to change pretty soon, because it's really an undue burden on so many churches where your seating capacity is much more than 100 people. And you can easily socially distance within your space. So I don't know what the thinking was on that, but it is what it is. So it's 100 people right now. That's what the guidelines are.
Yeah. And so that's all the questions I see. Teresa says she's excited.
We are too, Teresa. I'll be excited just to see people coming to worship the Lord and meet with Him. I am so excited to see you. It's going to be a thing of self-control for me, not to want to come up and just give you a hug or a handshake because I miss you so much, but self-control. And so we're gonna just greet one another with love and smile with your eyes, smile with your words, hug people with your words, and let them know. Elbow. Boom, just like that. And I don't know. I don't even know if is that still legitimate? Can you do that?
I don't know. I mean, technically, it's not 6 feet.
Unless you got long old arms.
I know.
You have to have
maybe
long arms.
Yeah, maybe not. So maybe we shouldn't encourage that.
Yeah.
But now it is. All right. So I think that's it.
All right.
Do you want to pray? And then Jules is sleeping, or else We could try to show you Jules. Should we try to pick?
Hey.
She's a lot more quiet when she's sleeping.
Oh my gosh!
She's,
oh my goodness!
Someone, I think it was Eric, commented about how big she is. This is
Jules.
Week 1. She's still sleeping. Are you sleeping? I was sleeping.
Let's see if we can get her to sit up.
This is the same thing as last time.
Do you think that this dog just sleeps all day long?
She really doesn't.
Actually, she does. Because all of a sudden, this mellow, I'm not going to do anything, mellow dog goes ballistic. She starts running around. She just gets crazy and funny. And so, but yeah, she's like this a good part of the day. But I took her for a good walk early this morning, and so she's pooped. She's tired.
She's tired. Wish you guys could see her more. I'm looking on my screen, and she comes out really dark.
Yeah.
Sit up, Jules. Say hello to your fans.
Look at these flappy lips that she's got.
Lips. She's like, don't touch my lips.
She's protective of her lips, but they are flappy.
Touching her lips.
She's a good girl.
She's my baby.
She's a good girl.
So.
Come on, sit up.
Sit up, Jules. Good girl.
Do it this way. Yeah.
Good
Come on,
girl.
come on. I don't think it's gonna happen, guys.
Sorry.
She's in the I want to lay down mode.
You're in church. Matthew says you're in a church meeting. Tell her she's going to a church meeting.
Oh, then she would fall asleep like most people do.
Ellen said so big. She's so big.
Yeah, we got this dog, and she was 5 pounds. She literally could fit in 2 hands at 7-8 weeks. And my guess is she's probably like 50 pounds now. So she's grown 10 times her size since we got her in late January. And she's about halfway there. We expect her to be about 90 to 100 pounds. And so she's a good girl. And we're even we brought her to one of the drive-through prayer things. We want her to get to know people, because she's a puppy, and it's important to socialize your dog, get her used to people. But then coronavirus hit. Nobody was socializing anywhere. And so our dog is a little like not used to people. And so we're trying to get her used to people. So if you want to come and meet her, the thing that you do is you just put your hand by her mouth so she can smell you, get to know you, and hopefully as she gets older, she becomes a sweetheart of a dog that can just hang around with people, and that's kind of the goal that we have. We're working towards that. So that's enough dog stuff. I think they've heard enough about the dog. And so we love you guys. Let's close in prayer. Father, we thank you again. We do pray for churches all over the country, Lord, all over our state and our county, who are this week or sometime soon going to be opening their doors and inviting people in, that, Lord, you would give protection, you would give safety, you would bring blessing as your people come seeking after you, Lord. We just thank you again for the privilege we have. We don't take it for granted anymore, the blessing of being able to come together as a family. And so go before us, Lord, and meet us in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Love you guys.
Just make sure, go online, ccsfs.com, to get your tickets. So that's where you get them. Go to ccsfs.com.
So hard to say those letters.
And then you will be able to find the link and all the information regarding our live services.
Yep.
So how much bigger is she going to get?
She should get to be, I'm estimating, because she was the runt of her litter, that she will be around 90 to 100 pounds. So even though that for some people is a gigantic dog, for Cane Corso, that's a little bit on the small side. And she's a female, so she won't get as big as the males. The males can get gigantic, like 140, 150 pounds. But I didn't want a 140, 50-pound dog. He was healthy and full-grown, and so that to me is a normal-sized dog. I'm not into what I call little rat dogs, little tiny dogs that just go. A dog with a little bit of meat on its bones. This dog has a lot of meat, so.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
See you guys hopefully on Sunday. If not,
live stream. You'll see